it's Elizabeth. Sorry I didn't put up a video yesterday, but I've been insanely sick for the last like 36 hours. I ate half of a cream cheese pastry and my stomach has just been like, I think there's demons in here. Like, I'm just in pain and I kind of feel like I'm gonna puke. And it's just generally not pleasant, so I don't really care if you can tell how messy my room is behind me. Yeah, but since it's Black Friday, I thought it would be a good day to do a haul. I have 26 books to show you. 6 of them are books that I forgot to show in other hauls, and then the rest I got at thrift stores and online. I only got 1 book online. I just want to get through this video so I can go to sleep. Okay, so this is one instance of going to Goodwill. But the first one is 9 Stories by J.D. Salinger. Like I've mentioned before, we're supposed to do an imitation of a short story for my fiction class, and I finally decided on For Esme with Love and Squalor from this collection. It's about a guy at like a soldier's camp who meets a little girl and she kind of wants to be friends with him and she wants him to write a story for her. And then I also got the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. I read, whose was it? The Miller's Tale, I think, in Britlit, and it was really awesome. We read it in Middle English, and I used to work at a cafeteria, and these guys were like making your mom jokes, and one of them was like, "Your mom has a beard." I was like, "Full well he knew a woman hath no beard." And I was like, yes, I just ruined a your mom joke with Middle English. I'm cool. Yeah, but the Canterbury Tales that I read were in like a Britlit textbook, and I sold it back to the school, so this was half off at Goodwill, so this was only 50 cents. And I really wanted to read the rest of Canterbury Tales, so now I can. Next one is Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. Yeah, this is definitely a way younger book than I would normally read. Like, this is for pretty young kids, isn't it? But yeah, everyone in my young adult fiction class was raving about it, and it was 50 cents at Goodwill, so. And then the last one from that day at Goodwill is The Corrections. Is it the? Yeah. The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen. I've heard a lot of really awesome things about Jonathan Franzen. I haven't started this or Freedom yet because they're really long and intimidating, and I want to wait till I'm out of school to read them, but yeah, I've heard really awesome things about this author. I know a lot of people really like him. This next stack I showed on, I think, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, but everything, I went to Goodwill on a Saturday, and I usually go on Fridays, but I went on a Saturday and everything in the store was half off, so I got 6 books for $3. The first one that I got at Goodwill that day was The Interpreter of Maladies by someone whose name I'm going to ruin. Jhumpa Lahiri? I think she's written some, I want to say she's written something that she got a lot of awards for. This is a short story collection that my friend really liked, he recommended. And then the next one is Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. When I showed The Marriage Plot by Eugenides, I think I said it Eugenides. I heard people calling him Eugenides, and I was like, there's no way that that's how you say his name, because there's not enough letters for this to be Eugenides. Like, but I got an audiobook of The Marriage Plot, and they said Eugenides, so I was like, okay, I guess it's Eugenides. Yeah, but this sounds like an extremely interesting story. It's about a hermaphrodite, yes? Is that the correct term? Not 100% male or female person in the 70s, so that sounded like an incredibly interesting story. The next one is The Sweet Far Thing by Libba Bray. As I mentioned in my last haul, I got Rebel Angels for 25 cents, and then I got The Sweet Far Thing for 50 cents. And I stole the first one. So this entire series cost me 75 cents. So yeah, this is huge. I was not expecting this to be this long, and then I saw it on the shelf and I was like, ah, it's mine. Next one is Saturday by Ian McEwan. It kind of seems like it might be inspired by Mrs. Dalloway. It's called Saturday because it takes place it's about one man's day, like on a Saturday. So this might be inspired by Mrs. Dalloway, but I'm not sure. It doesn't say anything about Mrs. Dalloway on it. But I really like Ian McEwan, so, you know. And then this is one that I kind of just picked up on a whim. This is an ARC copy of Ruler of the Realm by Herbie Brennan. I've had the Fairy Wars for a really long time, and I didn't know it was a series, and then I saw this one and I was like, those are all the same fonts. And then I picked it up and looked at it. I was like, oh, this is a sequel. But it's not the sequel right after Fairy Wars. This is the third in, I believe it's a series of 4 books. So I'll probably just get the ebooks of the second and fourth ones, so I can read the whole series. And then this is really exciting. I got The Ask and the Answer by Patrick Ness. I have The Knife of Never Letting Go on my tablet, but I don't have the rest of the series, and since this was 50 cents, I figured I might as well get a physical copy while I could. Yeah, I've heard really awesome things about this series. I really like dystopian. I think that, like, dystopian and, like, post-apocalyptic is one of the few genres that I really like. This one I got at the library for $1. It's By Nightfall by Michael Cunningham. He's the same author that wrote The Hours, and I really loved that movie, but I didn't know it was a book. I have the book now, and this also sounded like a really good story, so I picked this one up. It used to have a library binding on it, but I took it off. This one I got online. It's Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I started this during the summer, but it's really dense and complicated. I didn't really give up on it, but it just wasn't really a priority anymore, I guess. I don't know. And then I wanted to get a copy to like have so I could read the rest of it, but I couldn't find one that was like $6 or less. And then I finally found this one for, I think it was like $3.75 or something on Aid Books, and it was listed as being in very good condition, but this is, it's water damaged, it's wrinkled, it's not the same cover that they showed that it would be. I mean, it's readable, but I'm just kind of annoyed that they said it was in very good condition and it's not. You know, I mean, like, if I bought one that was listed as like acceptable or fair condition, then yeah, it's my own fault, you know. But when they list a book that is this beat up as very good, that makes me angry. Anyway, moving on. This stack I got at the thrift store down the street from my apartment. The first one is Elements of Style. Pretty self-explanatory. It's about the elements of style. It's just a book about writing. Next one that I'm really excited about, it's a book of German fairy tales. It's Ludwig Tieck, Die schönsten Märchen. which means like the prettiest or the nicest fairy tales. Schön is pretty much just like a catch-all word for cool, I guess, in German. Yeah, and then the next one, nothing really too special. It's The Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I've had my mom's copy of this on my shelf for a couple years, and I figured I should get my own so I could give it back to her. Next is The Dogs of Babel by Carolyn Parkhurst. This has been in my Amazon recommendations for a pretty long time, and the story sounds amazing. It's about a guy whose wife is murdered, and the dog is the only witness. So that sounds perfect for me. Dogs and murder, but the dog is not being murdered. This one really piqued my interest. The last one that I got that day is A Long Way Down by Nick Hornby. I actually really like Nick Hornby. I've read High Fidelity and About a Boy, and I have Juliet Naked, and I really like this author, so I was really excited to see this, and I just grabbed it. And the day that I went to this thrift store, everything was 25% off. The hardback was, I think, like $1.50, and then the paperbacks were all 75 cents, so that was really exciting. I got these today at Goodwill. I got Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I've read like 80% of this, but like our copy is so old and so water damaged that every time you turn a page, that page falls out. And like I've been meaning to get another copy that's like stable for a really long time so that I can finish it, but for some reason I just never have. So today I was just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna get it. So I did. And now I can finish that book. Next is The Tiger's Wife by someone else whose name I'm gonna ruin. Tia Obrit. I heard really awesome things about this when it came out. Everyone was really raving about it. And the author is only, I think, 7 years older than me. It was really exciting to me that someone so young could have a book that's held to such a high acclaim as this one. And I'm really mad because this is not a sticker, this is printed on the book. It's not the end of the world. And then last that I got today is Madame Bovary by French person Gustave Flaubert. He must be French. A classic that I've heard a lot of things about, and even though you can get ebooks of classics for free, I like physical books so much better, but like, I don't know if it's gonna focus. But look how tiny this font is. That's kind of scary. I'll survive, I guess. And then these are books that I didn't buy this month, but I forgot to include them in previous hauls. The first one is The Secret Kept by Tatiana de Rosnay. It's about a brother and sister who are traveling together, and they kind of, a secret resurfaces, and they have to deal with what that secret means for them now. Death Comes to Pemberley by P.D. James. I am on a mystery kick, so I was just on the lookout for mysteries, and this is a mystery set in the world of Pride and Prejudice, so that sounded pretty awesome. Next is Geek Love by Catherine Dunn. I tried to read it for young adult literature as like an out-of-class book, but I don't actually think it is YA. In this world, geeks are not like Star Wars geeks or something, but they're this woman's mutated children that she like purposefully mutates by like poisoning herself and stuff while she's pregnant, because she wants to make her babies more unique. And she like has like a circus with all her mutated children, and this just sounded insanely interesting. So I was really excited when I found this for $1. Next is The Railway Man by Eric Lomax. Colin Firth is going to be in this movie in December, and I really love Colin Firth, so I had to get the book so that I could see the movie. It's World War II and Colin Firth, so I'm really excited to read this before the movie comes out. Next is Case Histories by Kate Atkinson. Like I just said, I am on a mystery kick, and one that I found that I was really excited to read was Started Early and Took My Dog by Kate Atkinson, but apparently that's like the 4th or 5th in a series, and this is the first in the series, so I figured I should probably start there. Back in August at Costco, but it's Inferno by Dan Brown. I really like Dan Brown. Even though his books are kind of similar to each other, they're still really interesting, and they're kind of like a history class and a mystery all in one, and they're really awesome, and they're super entertaining. Last, I just have 3 more books to talk about / show you. This is incredibly exciting. Apparently it's not going to let me show you the cover in the app. But for the first time, an author contacted me and asked me to review her book. She sent me a free ebook of her book, and it's called Living in Dog Years, and the author's name is E. Bell. I'm really excited about this. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I've never been asked by an author before to read their book, so it's kind of a big moment for me. But I don't know, it kind of seems like it's a fictionalized memoir, especially how she described it in her message to me. But it's pretty much based on how she was bullied so much in school, and I was bullied a lot in school too. So I thought that was something that I could definitely relate to. Yeah, and then I also won 2 Goodreads giveaways. The first one is The Weight of Blood by Laura McCuh? Maybe? McCuh? But this sounds super interesting. It's about 2 disappearances in a family a generation apart. And they kind of thought that the mom, I think, was like a witch or something. But it sounds really awesome and really interesting, and can't wait to get into this. And then the other book giveaway that I won, it's not here yet, but it's called The Other Language. I don't remember the author's name, but it's a collection of short stories. I didn't really know when I entered that it was a collection of short stories, and I didn't really used to like short stories, but because we've had to find one to imitate for my fiction class, I've been getting into them more, so I'm actually not at all disappointed that it's a collection of short stories, and I'm still excited for it to get here. That was my haul. Sorry it was kind of excessive, and sorry I'm so exhausted that I'm not even really making sense, but because I didn't make a video yesterday, I will make a video tomorrow. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Definitely let me know if there's any of these books that you'd like me to review in the future. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.